So I'm Shanti Garba, one of the co-founders of the Triratna Earth Sangha and your host for today. And I'm happy to welcome and introduce Claudia and MJ from San Francisco, who are our presenters for this session, which runs for 90 minutes. So Claudia is a Triratna Mitra practicing with the San Francisco Sangha and is a founding member of the San Francisco Green Sangha. She regards engagement with issues of environmental justice as an essential part of her practice. And MJ Moore is a retired teacher, editor, and poet who's also a member of the San Francisco Triratna Sangha. She works with the Green Sangha on environmental justice issues. And their title for today, their theme for today is Celebrating the Earth, Healing Through Poetry and Pujas. And they say we need to acknowledge and work with our grief for all that we've lost or we're likely to lose soon. And as a balance for our grief, we need to express our gratitude for what we have and strengthen our resolve to connect with and preserve what remains. Poetry and pujas offer a powerful way to heal and connect. As part of this celebration, we've invited people to bring poems they love to share in breakout rooms. So if you don't have a poem already, maybe just think about that in the next few minutes if there's something you'd like to share. So a warm welcome to Claudia and MJ.
Thank you, Shanti Garba. So I will start us with an introduction. Thank you all very much for joining us today. We look forward to spending this time together. And I'm guessing we're all here because we're concerned about the state of our planet and the world, and because we're looking for ways to cope with both our reaction to the crises we're facing and for ways to limit the damage. In both instances, it is helpful to understand how we got here and to develop resilience so we can act more effectively and skillfully. MJ and I live in what is now known as the San Francisco Bay Area in California. These are the unceded ancestral homelands of the Ohlone peoples. They, like many other indigenous cultures, understood the connectedness of all things and lived in harmony with the land. We're grateful to them and honor them for their ongoing stewardship of the earth. I'd like to thank Akupa for his lovely session on gratitude and connection yesterday. This is such an important basis for this work. Joanna Macy, in her work that reconnects, describes a spiral journey through 4 stages: coming from gratitude, honoring our pain for the world, seeing with new ancient eyes, and going forth. We have a similar theme for this session, but hope to offer a different angle to approach the topic of gratitude and connection and seeing with new eyes. While Western civilization is infused with a dualistic worldview that sees humans as separate from the natural world and sees the natural world as an object to be manipulated, subdued, and exploited, many indigenous cultures have a more integrated worldview where self and humans are seen as an integral part of the natural world. With our offerings, we hope to illustrate what a more integrated worldview could look like and how it can help us dispel our delusion of that we are separate selves, separate from the natural world. Gratitude, especially gratitude to the natural world, can be very helpful here. So here's a brief overview of what you can expect today. We're going to start out with a short talk about the Haudenosaunee Thanksgiving address, and I'll offer some thoughts about how it relates to Buddhist teachings. We'll then have a brief meditation inspired by the Thanksgiving address. MJ is going to introduce the role of poetry as a vehicle for experiencing the world from different points of view and as a possible vehicle for expressing gratitude, and then regale you with selected poems exemplifying these points of view. We'll then have breakout rooms where you can share any poems that you might have brought and discuss ideas raised by the presentation. So if you didn't get around to bringing a poem, we'll have some other suggested questions that you can talk about. And finally, we'll do a gratitude puja. We're not going to take a formal break, so please take care of yourself as you need to. We love seeing your face on screen, but it's fine to turn off your camera if you need to use the restroom or get a drink. So I am going to tell you a little bit about the Haudenosaunee Thanksgiving Address. I was introduced to the Thanksgiving Address by Robin Wall Kimmerer's wise and poetic book, Braiding Sweetgrass. The Thanksgiving is a gift of the Haudenosaunee nations to the world. Onondaga faithkeeper Oren Lyons says, "It's supposed to be shared, otherwise how can it work? We've been waiting for 500 years for people to listen. If they understood the Thanksgiving then, we would not be in this mess." I am very grateful to the Onondaga people for this gift, and I would like to share it here. The Thanksgiving begins like this. Today we are gathered, and when we look upon the faces around us, we see that the cycles of life continue. We have been given the duty to live in balance and harmony with each other and all living things. So now let us bring our minds together as one as we give greetings and thanks to the natural world and to each other as people. Now our minds are one. The Thanksgiving continues with an extensive inventory of the natural world, including the earth, air, and water, and each individual element of the web of life, different kinds of plants, animals, the sun, moon, and stars. Each verse addresses the gifts of the element, expresses gratitude for it, and ends with, "Now our minds are one," to instill unity. Robin Wall Kimmerer says the Thanksgiving Address sets gratitude as the highest priority. The gratitude is directed straight at the ones who share their gifts with the world. She asserts that cultures of gratitude must also be cultures of reciprocity. Each person, human or not, is bound to every other in a reciprocal relationship. Just as all beings have a duty to me, I have a duty to them. If an animal gives its life to feed me, I am in turn bound to support its life. If I receive a stream's gift of pure water, then I'm responsible for returning this gift in kind. So how do we relate this to Buddhist teachings? The Buddha exemplifies gratitude to the natural world when, upon his awakening, he expresses the gratitude to the Bodhi tree for sheltering him. We strive to develop gratitude to our parents, our teachers, and our spiritual friends as part of emotional positivity. I would also posit that the natural world is in itself an incredible teacher. What better place to observe both Pratitya Samutpada and interconnectedness? Developing gratitude to the natural world can be a way to counteract the three poisons of greed, hatred, and delusion of a separate self. Gratitude is considered an antidote to greed. And let's see. Robin Wall Kimmerer describes gratitude as a revolutionary idea. In a consumer society, contentment is a radical proposition. Recognizing abundance rather than scarcity undermines an economy that thrives by creating unmet desires. Gratitude does not send you shopping to find satisfaction. In the Onondaga culture, the Thanksgiving Address is recited at the beginning of meetings. In fact, the more accurate translation of the title is "The Words That Come Before All Else." Used in this way, gratitude can help us develop common ground with those we find difficult by reminding us of things that we can all be grateful for. Gratitude helps us see our interdependence and interconnectedness with the natural world. Every being in the natural world, human or not, has an important role to fill, both gifts and duties. In this way, gratitude can help us dispel the delusion of a separate self and transcend dualistic thinking. And that is quite enough words for right now. let's get ready to meditate for a little while. And if you want to get into whatever is a comfortable posture for you that works for meditation and reflection, invite your mind to travel into your body with your breath. And tune into your breath coming in and going out. Maybe start by noticing where your body is in touch with the ground. And just give yourself some space to notice how you are right now. Are there any parts of your body that need some special attention? If you like, you can direct your breath to those parts and see if they'd like to relax a bit more. You may invite your eyes to soften. Maybe your jaw would like to relax a little bit more. How do your shoulders feel? Would they maybe like to drop down a little bit more? Notice your legs and the ground beneath you, and relax into your legs and let the earth support you. I invite you to turn your mind to the things you're grateful for in your life. That may include your family and your friends who love and support you. The earth that supports and sustains all of us. Water that gives life to all beings. The air that we breathe. the plants, trees, flowers, vegetables, fruits, all delight and sustain us. The animals of the earth, the water and the skies with all their gifts. The sun providing life-giving heat and light. The moon moving the oceans and women's bodies. Our lineage of teachers. All these share their gifts with us freely. What are you grateful for? What is your gift? Welcome back, everybody. I now have a little sort of interactive exercise. If you want to go to the chat, I've posted a link there. If you click the link, you will get a dialog box, and you're asked to enter up to 3 words asking you what you're grateful for. And with some software magic, we'll make a word cloud out of that, and I will share that. So go ahead and click on the link if you'd like and enter what you're grateful for. So we've got a lovely word cloud here. The Dharma coming up a few times. A lot of things in the natural world. Birdsong, emperor penguins, blue whales, life itself. This is very lovely. I'd like to thank you all for indulging me in this little excursion. And I'm going to hand over to MJ, who will talk to us about poetry. And I will send the word cloud to David so he can post it under the resources.
Hi, thank you, Claudia. Thank you for a lovely talk and meditation. Thanks to all of you for being here. My apologies for not having muted earlier. So on to poetry. Why exactly is poetry part of this week-long celebration of the Earth and investigation of climate change? In trying to alter the trajectory of where climate change and global warming are taking us, we need to look at why we're here, literally in a burning world. How did we get to this place? Obviously, greed and hatred play a huge part, but ignorance, our lack of imagination, plays a huge part as well. As humans, we are often unable to see and understand what's happening around us. We are unable to imagine what it's like to be other than human, to see the interrelatedness of all life, to see how the web of life sustains us all. As Anne Fisher-Worth says in the preface to the Eco Poetry Anthology, what we humans disregard is easy to destroy. A mountaintop, a coral reef, a forest, a human community. Poetry can be an antidote to ignorance. It can reveal the inner life of other animals, plants, rocks, rivers, and thereby reconnect us to the web of life. Poetry builds community by providing a common language to express our grief, rage, and longing in the face of climate change. It can help us to declare to the world that we care as an inspiration to others. It can give us a way to express our gratitude and love. Finally, poetry has the power to shift perception. As James Baldwin said, "The world changes according to the way people see it. And if you alter, even by a millimeter, the way a person looks at reality, then you can change it." So now for a few poems that explore the natural world and our relationship to it. Among them, they offer consolation, lament what we are losing, help us identify with other creatures and help us speak for them. And some are pure celebration of the amazing world we live in. I'm going to start with a poem I'm sure many of you have heard before. It's an old favorite for lots of us. The Peace of Wild Things by Wendell Berry. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting for their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free. The next poem by Margaret Atwood is a beautiful lament for the vanishing giant tortoises. I do want to note that the word Eskimo in the poem, which refers to the Inuit and Yupik people, was in common usage when the poem was published in 1976, but the term is now widely considered unacceptable. Elegy for the Giant Tortoises by Margaret Atwood. Let others pray for the passenger pigeon, the dodo, the whooping crane, the Eskimo. Everyone must specialize. I will confine myself to a meditation upon the giant tortoises, withering finally on a remote island. I concentrate in subway stations, in parks. I can't quite see them. They move to the peripheries of my eyes. But on the last day, they will be there. Already the event, like a wave traveling, shapes vision. On the road where I stand, they will materialize, plodding past me in a straggling line, awkward without water. Their small heads pondering from side to side, their useless armor sadder than tanks and history. In their closed gaze, ocean and sunlight paralyzed, lumbering up the steps, under the archways, toward the square glass altars where the brittle gods are kept, the relics of what we have destroyed, our holy and obsolete symbols. BBC Nature News has reported that scientists are saying a fifth of animals without backbones could be at risk of extinction. The next poem speaks for these animals. Characteristics of Life by Camille Dungy. Ask me if I speak for the snail, and I will tell you, I speak for the snail. I speak of underneathedness and the welcome of mosses, of life that springs up, little lives that pull back and wait for a moment. I speak for the damselfly, water skeet, mollusk, the caterpillar, the beetle, the spider, the ant. I speak from the time before spinelessness was frowned upon. Ask me if I speak for the moon jelly. I will tell you one thing today and another tomorrow, and I will be as consistent as anything alive on this earth. I move as the currents move with the breezes. What part of your nature drives you? You in your cubicle ought to understand me. I filter and filter and filter all day. Ask me if I speak for the nautilus, and I will be silent as the nautilus shell on a shelf. I can be beautiful and useless if that's all you know to ask of me. Ask me what I know of longing, and I will speak of distances between meadows of night blooming flowers. I will speak the impossible hope of the firefly. You with the candle burning and only one chair at your table must understand such wordless desire. To say it is mindless is missing the point. The next poem explores what it might be to be like a cricket. The title refers to Dolbear's Law, which states the relationship between air temperature and the rate at which crickets chirp. Dolbear's Law by Noah Gur Arya. To love as a cricket does, to occupy an ear, a blade of grass, to see with eyes like cut stones, to behold the miraculous pebbles sitting unprecious, 100-fold, a millionfold, to sing for dirt, to bring cut up wings together in hymn and count time as the sky goes cold, tempo for temperature, louder even than the cone-headed katydids, to listen closely with the crook of a knee for a harmony of veins, to sing, to be heard by everything, earth and air and sky and you, muscles thrumming with the atmosphere, symphony for the soil. In this next poem, the poet asks us to pay close attention to parts of nature we often overlook. Proper Names by Mary Wagner. Brewer's blackbird, California tui, cedar waxwing, learn their names. A pygmy nuthatch perches on your fence post. Soon you'll see it everywhere, recognize its nimble song. The white patch on its belly will become dear to you. Don't just tromp through seemingly empty fields, shortcuts to the store. Stop in the muddy expanse, lean over, memorize the grasses. Squirrel tail, Idaho fescue, June grass. Learn the name of all things green and alive. Forget everything else. At first, you will miss your own name. Then you won't. It will take generations to scrub out the oil spot of things gratuitously named. To name a building or a sneaker or a car baptizes it, lifts it to higher realms. Forgetting the name of a tree dooms us all. We will lie in the wild rye. We will go about our business unharried, quiet, every tree auspicious, revered, a pilgrimage. After a long, long time, we can once again forget the names of trees and grass and birds. Everything relieved of names will blend into a humming, chlorophylled pulse. And then, only then, we start again. So we will end this section with a poem by a German poet that celebrates life. Claudia will read this one.
Give me a minute. I wasn't realizing I was doing that. I'll have it pulled up. I'm sorry, MJ, do you have it there?
I do, and my apologies.
No, it's okay. It's okay. The poem is by Rainer Maria Rilke, and MJ will read it. Thank you.
Earth, isn't this what you want? Earth, isn't this what you want? To arise in us, invisible? Is it not your dream to enter us so wholly, there's nothing left outside us to see? What, if not transformation, is your deepest purpose? Earth, my love, I want it too. Believe me, no more of your springtimes are needed to win me over. Even one flower is more than enough. Before I was named, I belonged to you. I see no other law but yours, and know I can trust the death you will bring. See, I live. On what? Childhood and future are equally present. Sheer abundance of being floods my heart.
Thank you, MJ.
So we're going to have breakout groups now. And if you brought a favorite nature or ecology poem, please share that and let people in your group know why the poem speaks to you. If there's time, groups might also want to discuss some of the questions, and I'm going to post these in the chat box in just a minute. So first of all, share your poems you brought, discuss why they appeal to you. What are you grateful for in the natural world? How do you connect to the natural world? What would it be like to live in a culture guided by gratitude? Have you ever lived in such a culture, however briefly? Feel free to discuss anything else that came alive for you from that session. So, David, if you can break us into groups, and I'll put it in the chat box.
Yes.
So, well, welcome back. I hope that people were able to share some poems and ideas in their groups. We're going to offer a gratitude puja now, written by Amrita Mati. Because of time constraints, we've shortened it a bit. During the offering section, the Maitri mantra will play, and we will end with the Sabbe Sata mantra. Gratitude Puja by Amrita Mati. Worship. From the deep, warm earth,
From the deep, warm earth,
abundant with life,
abundant with life,
I offer tulips, golden daffodils, and sunflowers.
I offer tulips, golden daffodils, and sunflowers,
Blossoms of magnolia and pink camellia,
blossoms of magnolia and pink camellia,
and fragrant jasmine flowers.
and fragrant jasmine flowers.
From the vast blue sky,
From the vast blue sky,
radiant with life,
radiant with life,
I offer ever-changing clouds,
I offer ever-changing clouds,
multicolored sunsets and morning hues,
multicolored sunsets and morning hues,
birds who skim the breeze,
birds who skim the breeze,
herons, kites, and eagles.
herons, kites, and eagles.
From the cool, clear waters,
From the cool, clear waters,
translucent with life,
translucent with life,
I offer mountain reflections,
I offer mountain reflections,
serene stillness and rippling waves,
serene stillness and rippling waves,
fish swimming and kingfishers drinking,
fish swimming and kingfishers drinking.
to those worthy of praise and respect,
To those worthy of praise and respect,
I offer all nature's beauty.
I offer all nature's beauty.
Please accept them from me.
Please accept them from me.
Om Maitri Mahamaitri Maitri Swaha. Om Maitri Mahamaitri Maitri Swaha.
Om Maitri Mahamaitri Maitri Swaha. Om Maitri Mahamaitri Maitri Swaha.
Going for refuge. I go for refuge to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas,
I go for refuge to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas,
receptive to their wisdom and compassion.
receptive to their wisdom and compassion.
I turn my life towards their influence.
I turn my life towards their influence.
I turn my heart towards their love.
I turn my heart towards their love.
I turn my mind towards their guidance.
I turn my mind toward their guidance.
Every day and every hour,
Every day and every hour,
may I remember to bring them to mind
may I remember to bring them to mind
and step into the world
and step into the world
with them beside me.
with them beside me.
Every day and every hour,
Every day and every hour,
may I recall that I desire to be
may I recall that I desire to be
a child of the Buddha,
a child of the Buddha,
and may I act accordingly,
and may I act accordingly,
with the three jewels always in my heart.
with the three jewels always in my heart.
The refuges and precepts in unison. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami, dhammang saranang gacchami, sanghang saranang gacchami, dutyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, dutyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, dutyampi sanghang saranang gacchami, tatyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, tatyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, tatyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Panatipata Veramani Sikapparam Samadhiyami Adinadana Veramani Sikapparam Samadhiyami Kamesu Michachara Veramani Sikapparam Samadhiyami Musavada Veramani Sikapparam Samadhiyami Suramerya Maja Pamadatana Veramani Sikapparam Samadhiyami. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. With deeds of loving kindness, I purify my body. With open-handed generosity, I purify my body. With stillness, simplicity, and contentment, I purify my body. With truthful communication, I purify my speech. With mindfulness clear and radiant, I purify my mind.
Confession. As I am not yet a perfect bodhisattva,
As I am not yet a perfect bodhisattva,
I have regretfully hurt myself and others.
I have regretfully hurt myself and others.
To all the Buddhas and my teachers,
To all the Buddhas and my teachers,
I confess any unskillfulness,
I confess any unskillfulness
of body, speech, and mind.
of body, speech, and mind.
Like the autumn leaves that lie
Like the autumn leaves that lie
around the feet of the great oak tree,
around the feet of the great oak tree.
may my ignorance of karma
May my ignorance of karma
and the effect my actions have
and the effect my actions have
on myself and others
on myself and others
fall at the feet of the Buddha.
fall at the feet of the Buddha.
May I learn from my mistakes
May I learn from my mistakes
and allow the new growth of skillful action
and allow the new growth of skillful action
to arise by letting go
to arise by letting go
of all my unskillfulness.
of all my unskillfulness.
Just as spring brings the new growth
Just as spring brings the new growth
of flowers and plants.
of flowers and plants.
Gratitude. With love and respect
with love and respect
to those awakened ones from whom I learn,
to those awakened ones from whom I learn,
I bow down in gratitude
I bow down in gratitude
for the struggles and determination
for the struggles and determination
shown by the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas
shown by the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas
and all the teachers of the past and present.
and all the teachers of the past and present.
I bow down in appreciation,
I bow down in appreciation,
rejoicing in their merits
rejoicing in their merits
and singing all their praises,
and singing all their praises,
joyous with delight of my good fortune.
joyous with delight in my good fortune.
I bow down with thankfulness.
I bow down with thankfulness.
My gratitude is overflowing
My gratitude is overflowing
like the depth of the many oceans,
like the depth of the many oceans,
like the towering magnificence of the mountains,
like the towering magnificence of the mountains,
like the vast openness of the deserts,
like the vast openness of the deserts,
like the rich, dense beauty of the forests.
like the rich, dense beauty of the forests.
May my love and respect for the teachers
May my love and respect for the teachers
stay strong and bountiful,
stay strong and bountiful,
even in times of difficulty.
even in times of difficulty.
May the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas
May the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas
and all my teachers
and all my teachers
accept my heartfelt wish of thanks.
accept my heartfelt wish of thanks.
Request. Graciously and reverently, I request the teachers.
Graciously and reverently, I request the teachers.
Please keep offering the gift of the Dharma
Please keep offering the gift of the Dharma
to this world of suffering and delusion.
to this world of suffering and delusion.
Alongside my brothers and sisters in the Sangha,
Alongside my brothers and sisters in the Sangha,
I pray that the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas
I pray that the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas
will remain with us all
will remain with us all
and share their understanding and their love
and share their understanding and their love,
so that all beings may experience
so that all beings may experience
the calmness of a peaceful heart.
the calmness of a peaceful heart.
Transference of merit. May all my positive actions
May all my positive actions
of body, speech, and mind,
of body, speech, and mind,
those of the past, those of this moment,
those of the past, those of this moment,
and those of the future,
and those of the future,
help alleviate the pain and sadness of this world.
help alleviate the pain and sadness of this world.
By giving away all merit that I have accrued,
By giving away all merit that I have accrued,
may I help all beings feel joy, love, and peace.
may I help all beings feel joy, love, and peace.
May the Bodhisattva spirit live through me
May the Bodhisattva spirit live through me
and touch all beings, however near or far.
and touch all beings, however near or far,
Whether known or unknown,
whether known or unknown,
and help bring about a more peaceful world.
and help bring about a more peaceful world.
Sabe sata suki hontu.
Sabe
Sata
sata
suki
suki
hontu.
hontu.
Sabe
Sabe
sata suki hontu. Sabe sata suki hontu. Sabe sata suki hontu. Sabe
Okay, thank you all. We've arrived at the end of our program. As the very last thing, I would like to share with you a dedication of merit that has been published by One Earth Sangha and that all of us in the Green Sangha love a lot. And feel free to follow along looking at the screen. Our prayer that any goodness generated here be extended into the world. May all places be held sacred. May all beings be cherished. May all injustices of oppression and devaluation be fully righted, remedied, and healed. May all wounds to forests, rivers, deserts, oceans, all wounds to Mother Earth be lovingly restored to bountiful health. May all beings everywhere delight in whale song, bird song, and blue sky. May all beings abide in peace and well-being, awaken and be free. Thank you all so much for being here with us tonight, or this afternoon, or whatever your time zone is. I want to thank MJ for being my collaborator in this. I want to thank our responders, Dana Maya, Nancy, and John. I want to thank the rest of the Green Sangha. You know who you are. Thank you to Shandi Garba for emceeing this session. Thank you, David, for all the wonderful tech support. And if I've left anything out, MJ, maybe you can chime in. You're muted.
I echo what Claudia said, and also wanted to thank the Triratna Earth organizers for providing this week-long opportunity to honor the earth. May you all be well.
Thank you very much, Claudia and MJ. Yeah, and on the theme of gratitude, I'd like to thank David and the BC for tech hosting us. And I'd also like to introduce the team, the Triratna Earth Sangha team, just very briefly, because I can see some of them are here. So let's see, we've got Angela. Could you give us a wave, Angela? Is behind the scenes organizer. And we've got Apeksha Priya, tech support, general tech wizard. And Shanti Chitta, who's going to be your host tomorrow and Thursday. And then I'll be back on Friday as host on Friday. So, you know, Shanti Chitta will. Shanti Chitta, would you say hi? Just so we can hear your voice.
Hi, yes, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I really enjoyed this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and just a mention about Dana, about generosity, also part of gratitude. We offer this event freely in the spirit of Dana, or with generosity. At the same time, we deeply appreciate your financial contribution, and proceeds will be split between the Triratna Earth Sangha and the BCO to support people like David and Zach and others. And Triratna Earth Sangha funds will go towards supporting eco projects and funding a part-time coordinator for our to provide continuity in between events. So there's the link in the chat. It's a PayPal link. If you haven't already contributed or you feel moved to contribute after this evening. So thank you very much. See you tomorrow, same times tomorrow. Just having a look at the chat, just enjoying the mentions and the appreciation in the chat.
Thank you so much.
Fran.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Here.
Thank you. Nice to see folks from San Francisco.